Yo, what's going on YouTube? Epoxy here, and welcome to the first episode for the Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Modded Guide. This series is dedicated toward those of you who want the best and most stable modded games, and this series will walk you through step by step on how to achieve this goal. In this video, I'll be showing you the two best mod managers that I highly recommend for modding Fallout New Vegas. Those two include the Nexus mod manager and the mod organizer. Both will be linked down in the descriptiones below. But without further ado, let's get right into this video.
Yippee-yay, there'll be no wedding bells for today.
Alright, so we're going to be starting off with the Nexus mod manager because in my personal opinion, it is the easiest mod manager to use, and it is missing features that the mod organizer does not have, but we're going to be going over the differences in both programs and basically what one you should end up using, and it's totally going to depend on your personal preference. That's why I'm showing you the two that I recommend. So, like I said, we're going to start off with the Nexus mod manager, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to install it and download and so on, and how to get it to work with different games. Now, as you can see, the latest version currently is 0.54.10, and if this does change and it becomes kind of irrelevant, or at least this video becomes irrelevant and the install becomes different, then let me know down in that comment section below, because this video is being made on 0.54.10. and things can change, and they always do. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and start off by downloading the Nexus mod manager, and I'm going to show you guys how to use this, how to download your mods, and how to install them, and so on. And it's going to be really quick and easy. I actually do have this already installed because I tried this once, but then I messed up the video. But anyways, we're going to go to the downloads here, and as you can see, I've got a bunch of random files here. Just ignore those, and we can see the Nexus mod manager install right here. We just want to double click that. Actually, just to ensure that we get this right, we want to run it as an administrator, and hit yes, hit OK, or choose whatever language you want, and then hit next. I accept the agreement, next, and this shows all the bug fixes and the new features and everything that have been added recently, and hit next. Now with the Nexus mod manager, I do suggest on keeping the directories as they are, because the thing is that just if you mess around with the Nexus mod manager, some things can get messed up and your mods can get messed up, and just things don't really always go well. Now you can definitely try it, but I just suggest keeping the directories as is, but you can definitely play around with that if you want. I'm going to go ahead and keep it as it is, so I'm going to hit next. You can don't create start menu folder, next. Now this right here is important. If you want this to handle the Nexus mod manager URLs, you can see associate Nexus mod manager URLs with Nexus mod manager. Now you want to have this checked off if you are using Nexus mod manager as your primary mod organizer, mod manager. Sorry, you're supposed to keep all these checked. If you guys want a desktop icon, you can install that, but I do not. You can create. Actually, let's create a desktop icon. You're not gonna be able to see it in this video anyway, though. So let's go ahead and next, and then install. And then we just want to wait for that. Launch the Nexus mod manager. And as you can see right here, it's going to start looking for all the different games right here that we have installed. And this is one of the differences in between the Nexus mod manager and mod organizer. Now with the Nexus mod manager, you can see that it uses all these different games, and you can install mods for all these different games. Except the only games that mod organizer works with is Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Skyrim. And it doesn't include any of these here. So if you want to use all these different games, then I suggest using the Nexus mod manager. Or say if you have The Witcher 2 installed, I suggest just using this if you have a majority of these games installed instead. We can go ahead and check off all the ones that we have. And if yours does not immediately say not found on all of these, then you can just hit the X button and then kind of just launch it up from there. And then what you want to do is hit OK, and then launch whatever game you're going to be using. Now if you're only using one game, you can choose Don't Ask Me next time. And you will still be able to go back and change what game you are using in case you do rescan installed games, which you can do right here. But we're going to go ahead and Don't Ask Me next time, hit OK, and it'll launch up the Nexus mod manager. And like I said, keep the directories as is if you don't want to play around with it. But if you do want to play around with it and see if you can get things working, then that's totally fine. But I just suggest keeping it as is. We can go ahead and hit finish. Alright, so this message may or may not pop up. It's just kind of like a message that pops up. It's kind of like the message of the day. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this a little bit. And we're going to minimize that. And I'm going to be showing you guys the different things here. This right here is the plugin. So this is going to allow you to mess around with like the DLC folders and everything if you don't have any mods installed. But this is basically your load order for your plugins. And then this right here allows you to categorize all your different mods so that you can find them easier. And I'm going to be showing you guys an example mod in this video, and I'm going to be using it with both Mod Organizer and Fallout New Vegas, or sorry, Nexus Mod Manager. And we're going to go ahead and install it right now. It's the FAMAS 1 by Millennia, Raynox 3D, Hitman 47101, Naki and Tanoil, or Naki, sorry. I messed up his name last time I said it. I'm sorry about that. I know it's not Naki, it's Naki, I believe. I believe that's what he said it was. Anyways, we want to go ahead and download that through Nexus Mod Manager. And hit continue with download and hit yes, and bam, it's gonna start downloading through this right here. We want to hit play on that. Oh, sorry, I have to log in. Okay, it was popping up in the background, that's why. So we're gonna go ahead and launch up Nexus Mod Manager again. I don't know why it was popping up in the background. That's kind of odd. Doesn't normally do that. Alright, so let's log in right now. Epoxy, that's not what I meant to do. I just did it again. Alright, I want to enter your information here. And if you guys didn't notice what I did, you click down at the bottom left on this little icon and it'll allow you to log in and log out. And then what we want to do is from here, download Nexus Mod Manager, hit continue with my download, and hit yes. And then it's going to immediately start downloading through here. Alright, so once the mod is completed, and it says completed right here, it should pop up in one of these categories. Sometimes it may pop up in unassigned, or things like, I believe there's another one here. I'm not sure where it is, but anyways, oh, right here, miscellaneous. But anyways, basically it's going to spawn it in the category that is set on the Nexus. Now, if you download manually, it's not going to do this, and you're going to have to set it yourself. But anyways, to install the mod, all you really have to do is double hit this X. And bam, it's going to start installing right here. You can see the progress. And this is going to be something that is much different on Mod Organizer, because once you install it once, you don't need to wait for this progression bar or anything like that. It's just going to instantly install and instantly uninstall, because it keeps it all in one separate folder, doesn't mess up your data folder and everything. And I'll be showing you guys that later in this video. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and show you guys that it is indeed working. So if we go ahead and minimize that, we can minimize that as well. And we're going to launch up our game here. And make sure all the data folders are correct. And we're going to go ahead, hit options. And we're going to set it as windowed so that we can see what we're doing here. And it's not going to be the best quality in the world right now, because I'm setting it in a windowed screen so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to set it in 720p. And we'll go ahead and hit OK and play. And I'm going to quickly show you guys that this mod did install correctly, and then we'll go from there. And then after that, I'll show you guys a few different features in Nexus Mod Manager, and then I'll move on to Mod Organizer, and then we'll have some fun. And we're going to continue on this series with much more advanced stuff coming up here pretty soon, and that's going to be really fun. There's going to be a lot of stuff that is going to be a little bit more complicated than this, and I understand that there's not going to be really many... there's not going to be as many views on these videos, because a lot of people already know how to do some of this stuff, but I'm just trying to help out all the people that don't know how to do it yet. So anyways, let's load up a game in Good Springs, I guess. Hit load game. And then we're just going to quickly go check to make sure that this installed correctly. And it should have been. So anyways, we're going to quickly run here to Good Springs, the good old Doc Mitchell's house. Gonna enter. And then I believe it's in Doc Mitchell's kitchen. Let's go ahead and quickly make sure. It said in Doc Mitchell's kitchen corner. Right there. Bam. You can see it. Bam. Alrighty, so as you guys can see, the mod is installed correctly. I'm just going to go quickly pick up all this stuff so I can show you guys that it is indeed working. I'm going to quickly run outside here so that we can get a better look at it and show you guys that it truly is working properly. Bam, FAMAS F1. Now obviously it's not going to be the best graphics in the world right now, because I have it in windowed mode in really bad graphics. Don't have any mods installed. I completely reinstalled the game for you guys so that I could do this series. As you guys can see, it is working correctly, and it's all nice and beautiful. Bam. Oh yeah. Alright, so we can go ahead and quit the game. Why is there a dead body right there? What the heck is going on? Anyways, let's go ahead and quit the game, and then we'll look at a few different features, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so let's quickly open up the Nexus Mod Manager here. And now, if you want to manually install a mod, you can click Add Mod File from here, and then you can actually choose like a RAR file that is. It has to be basically in the zip file properly for it to actually work. And I'll show you guys in another video how to manually install faux mods and that. But anyways, as you guys can see, like I said, this is the setup here, and it's not going to allow you to put this above the master files. And there's not really many features in this. You can launch up a custom Fallout New Vegas, so you can set up like a Fallout New Vegas 4GB and different things like that. You can go into the settings, check all these different options and so on. And that is it. That's basically all that this has to offer. It's basically just allows you to install mods, and it's just as simple as that. Alright, now it's time for the beautiful, beautiful mod organizer. Alright, so to install mod organizer, what you're going to want to do is come to this link down in the description below. And I know it's on the Skyrim Nexus, but this does work with all the games that I said before. So anyways, you can see that there it does support Oblivion, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim. It actually says somewhere down here, I believe it says right here, supports Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Skyrim. And then here are all the different things that it all the different features that it has. And I'm going to let you guys know which ones that Nexus Mod Manager has to a point, and which ones are alike, and then what features only mod organizer has. So you can see mods are kept completely isolated from each other, no more messy data directory. This is only a mod organizer feature, so basically it puts it all in the mod organizer folder itself. I'll show you guys that in a few seconds here, but anyways, it puts it all in this one folder, and it doesn't put all this like junk into your actual data folder, so that's really nice. There's profiles, which I'll show you guys later in the video. There's drag and drop load order and installation order management, so that's sort of like what Nexus Mod Manager has to offer. There's full control over the priority of BSA files. Nexus integration for easy download. Now the Nexus Mod Manager does have this, but it's kind of nice that this third-party mod organizer does have it as well. GUI support for manual installers, so you can manually install mods through here. Nexus Mod Manager also does allow that. Partial compatibility with Bane and FOMod installers, so that's going to allow you to basically, so FOMod installers are basically when you install a game and it pops up this file and allows you to choose from different options and all this different stuff. I'll show you guys that in later videos. Save game viewer, so you can view your game saves, view the little images that come with them and everything, and then you can also see what mods were installed on those save games so that you can make the save game work properly. Next up is Archive Invalidation, which Nexus Mod Manager does have. If you guys want to know more about Archive Invalidation, let me know down in the comment section below and I can make a video on it. Next up is Categorize Mods for better overview. So this is basically what I showed you in Nexus Mod Manager, where you can organize your mods into these different folders. And then we've also got Easy Overview of File Conflicts, so it allows you to easily see file conflicts and what mods are conflicting. Complete Help System, so it allows you to click the help and it will help you through different things. And then no dependencies, just unpack and go, blah blah blah. You can see automatic self update, so it updates itself, BSA unpacking, and all this beautiful stuff. Now if you guys want to read more on this, you can come to this page and read all the different things and all the different FAQs and so on. And if you guys are having any problems installing this, just let me know. But I'm going to be showing you guys how to install it right now. You want to come to Files, and you want to go to this bottom one right here, the 134 installer, and this was updated April 12th, 2015. So this may eventually get updated again, but the thing is if the installer does get a major impact and difference, let me know down in the comment section below so I can make an updated video. But anyways, we want to go ahead and choose download manually. And you can see I actually already have it installed, so we're going to go ahead and cancel that, and we're going to make our way to the downloads. We're going to launch up Mod Organizer and hit Run, hit Next, I agree, and right here is something that you're going to want to change. So right here you're going to be able to scroll down and choose Handle Nexus Links. So this is going to overwrite the Nexus Mod Manager. We're going to close that right now. And this is actually gonna overwrite the Nexus mod manager. So from here we can hit next, and we want to choose, we want to go to browse, and then we want to find the game that we want to install it on. So let's go to local, program files 86, go down to Steam, find Steam apps, go to common, and then we're going to install it for Fallout New Vegas. So we can just choose this right here, just click on the Fallout New Vegas and hit OK. And it'll make a mod organizer folder inside of Fallout New Vegas. We want to hit install. Now with mod organizer, I'm not sure whether I mentioned this earlier in the video, but you're going to have to install mod organizer separately for different games. So say if I wanted it on Fallout New Vegas, I would need to install it for Fallout New Vegas, and say if I wanted say if I wanted to mod Skyrim as well at the same time with mod organizer, then I would have to install a completely separate version of mod organizer for Skyrim. So we want to go ahead and run mod organizer 1.34. And that's going to launch up. You can see right here. Okay. You are starting mod organizer for the first time. Do you want to show a tutorial of the basic features? If you choose no, you can always start the tutorial later. Hit no. If you guys do want a tutorial, like a step-by-step tutorial, you can definitely check that out and hit yes, and it'll bring you through all the different features and everything. But I'm going to be showing you guys the basic features here. So anyways, what we're going to be doing is we're going to download 2 different mods. So let's actually just go back here, go to home, and we're going to install the FAMAS F1 and also let's install the Browning P35. And I'm just going to quickly check where this goes to. So it can be found in Doc Mitchell's chair in his bedroom. And we're going to install both these different mods so that I can show you guys the different features. So anyways, what we want to do now is hit download Nexus Mod Manager. Hit continue with my download, and as you guys can see, I can now log in. Bam. Hit remember, never ask again. Okay. And that'll log me in, and then it'll start downloading. You can go to downloads and watch it download, and then we'll also download the FAMAS F1. Continue with my download, and bam. It's going to start downloading both of these. And I'm just going to quickly wait for these to be done, and I'll see you guys after that. Alright, so now that both of the files are downloaded, now we can actually install them. So all you have to do is double click to install, and you can change the name to whatever you want so you can organize it properly. And you can also, what I suggest doing here is clicking manual, and whenever you see the data folder, set it properly, and say if I wanted to make, oh sorry, the tutorial is on here for some reason. I said no to that. But anyways, if say I wanted to right click here, you can set this to the data directory or unset data directory. You can create directories, and you can actually delete things, I believe. Actually no, you just uncheck them and then it won't install those. And then say if I don't want the readme, it'll completely ignore that, but we're going to keep it on. And then as you guys can see, there's all these different things here. Optional 9mm replacer. Let's actually disable that. And then bam, we can hit OK. And bam. And then what we want to do is install the FAMAS F1, make sure that it's all set. Hit OK. And bam. Now all you have to do to enable these is check these off, and you can also uncheck them. And it's just instant. Literally as soon as you check them, they're installed. As soon as you uncheck them, they're uninstalled. So it's really nice and easy. And then also something I'm going to quickly show you guys is say I wanted to set up different profiles, one for like mod reviews and then another one for just playing for like a playthrough or something like that. You can see that I can set up different things here. We can go to manage, and we can go to create, let's say mod reviews, and please enter name. Bam. Close. And then we can see default, and then we can go to mod reviews and install say both, and then we can just switch back and forth. Say I wanted both for the mod reviews, and then say I only wanted one for the actual playthrough, or whatever you want to name this. And that's one of the main features that I really love about Mod Organizer, and it's the one sad thing about using Nexus Mod Manager that you can't do. And I'll actually delete that right there. And another thing is we can go to saves. We can look at the different saves. You can see the save images and also the missing ESPs, and you can hit fix mods. And it will actually pop up all the missing ESPs, but I don't believe it has any there. And yeah, that's basically it. It shows you the number of the save, it shows you the character, it shows you the level that you're at, the location, the date, and all these nice things. You can also set up custom launchers, so if you install Fallout New Vegas 4GB, for example, you can go edit and you can choose the binary, and you can choose the actual exe that you want it to launch. And then also you can title it whatever you want as well, and you can also choose all these different things. And I'll be going over some more of these features later on in this series, but we can also go to data. You can see all the different data stuff here. You can go to archives, see all the different stuff here. Actually, just ignore this for now. And then the plugins. So this is going to be basically your mod list, or load order. Sorry, I always forget the name for it. Load order, and you can change what comes first. As you can see, we had the FAMAS one come first, and then bam, now the Browning is first. And you can organize it separately, and usually on mod pages, if it's like a big mod, it'll tell you like where to place it on your mod order. Guns in that can actually go below, like really high intensive stuff. But yeah, we're going to be going over load order and everything like that later on in this series. And these are basically all the main features of this. And just basically there's just a ton of features in this that are not on the Nexus Mod Manager. And that's the sad reason why I don't like using Nexus Mod Manager over this, because there's just so many features on this that make things so much easier. But the one downside is that the support for FOMod installers and things like that, it's really complicated to get some things working through Mod Organizer. So if you don't want a bunch of complicated installation and that, I suggest going with Nexus Mod Manager. And that's basically what it comes down to. I'm going to actually open both of these up side by side, and then we're going to just kind of break it down to what I think you guys should install depending on your preferences. Alright, so now it's kind of the battle time. We've got Mod Organizer on the right, and we've got Nexus Mod Manager over on the left. Simplicity versus features, but also complications and different conflicts and not being able to install certain FOMod installer mods. And all these different complications can really mess up your modding experience. That's why I definitely suggest to most of you, if you're not advanced users, to use the Nexus Mod Manager. If you guys want, you can totally learn how to use the Mod Organizer, but if you just want the easiest way to install your game, I definitely suggest going with the Nexus Mod Manager. It's actually going to be the mod manager that I use throughout all these videos. I'm going to be going over further tutorials and everything with Mod Organizer, but this is going to be the main one that I use, just because the people that are using Mod Organizer will understand what I'm talking about. But if I were to use Mod Organizer in all my videos, then people that use Nexus Mod Manager might not know what I'm talking about. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using Nexus Mod Manager just for the simplicity for all the viewers. And overall, it's kind of sad that I can't use those different features that it has, such as profiles and all that. But it's all comes down to what you want out of the Mod Manager. Alright, so before I end off this video, I'd like to ask you all another quick question for you to answer down that lovely comment section below. What mod manager are you going to use and why? Let me know down that lovely comment section below, and you might just be featured on one of my future videos. However, that is sadly the end of this video. Thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, it would be super greatly appreciated if you could smack that like button down below and subscribe to join the good fight. Also, if you'd like to check out more of my content, here are 2 videos on screen right now that you may have missed. On the left is a discussion about the possibility of paid mods making a return for Fallout 4. And on the right is the preparation episode for this series that will show you how to do a full fresh install in order to get the best and most stable game while modding. But with that said, guys, my name's Epoxy. Don't forget to stay sexy and stay gaming. I'm out. Peace.